Across the tropical islands of Southeast Asia, the jungle forms a living labyrinth. Beneath towering canopies and tangled vines, survival unfolds in quiet, calculated movements. Light struggles to reach the forest floor. Moist air hangs heavy with a scent of soil and decay. In this shadowed world, every creature moves with caution. The dense vegetation conceals hunters and prey alike. Here, the balance of life is governed not by speed or strength alone, but by patience, endurance, and adaptation to a landscape that rarely reveals its secrets. These forests are shaped by tropical climate cycles. Rainfall saturates the ground for much of the year, encouraging dense plant growth that forms layered ecosystems. The canopy captures sunlight high above, while the understory survives in perpetual shade. For animals living at ground level, visibility is limited. Sound, scent, and vibration become critical signals. In such conditions, predators rely less on sudden pursuit and more on calculated proximity. The jungle rewards those capable of moving unnoticed. Among the dominant hunters of these shadowed forests is a reptile whose lineage stretches back millions of years. The Komodo dragon is the largest living lizard on Earth. Reaching lengths of more than 3 meters and weighing over 70 kilograms, it occupies the role of apex terrestrial predator across several Indonesian islands. Despite its formidable size, the dragon rarely announces its presence. Instead, it blends with the forest floor, waiting for opportunities shaped by instinct and ecological timing. The Komodo dragon's most powerful sense is not sight, but smell. Its forked tongue constantly samples airborne particles, delivering chemical information to a specialized sensory organ within the mouth. Through this system, a dragon can detect carrion or wounded prey from several kilometers away. In the dense jungle where visibility is limited, scent becomes a map. Every movement through the environment leaves invisible traces, signals that predators can follow long after prey has passed. Despite its heavy build, the Komodo dragon is capable of surprisingly deliberate movement. Muscular limbs carry the reptile through uneven terrain, navigating roots, rocks, and dense vegetation. While capable of short bursts of speed, dragons conserve energy whenever possible. Their strategy relies on patience. Rather than pursuing prey across long distances, they position themselves along known animal pathways, routes carved by deer, pigs, and other herbivores moving between feeding grounds and water sources. One of the Komodo dragon's primary prey species is the Timor deer. These herbivores forage along forest edges and clearings, feeding on leaves, shoots, and fallen fruit. In dense jungle terrain, their greatest defense lies in vigilance. Ears rotate constantly, detecting subtle disturbances in the undergrowth. Yet the forest itself can conceal danger until it is dangerously close. For predators like the Komodo dragon, these moments of reduced awareness create opportunities. Ambush defines the Komodo dragon's hunting strategy. Remaining nearly motionless, it waits until prey enters striking distance. The dragon's coloration blends with soil and fallen leaves, breaking its outline against the forest floor. In many cases, prey animals pass within meters of the hidden reptile without detecting its presence. Success depends on precise timing, an explosive strike delivered within seconds. When the moment arrives, the attack is abrupt. The dragon surges forward using powerful hind limbs and tail for propulsion. Its jaws close with crushing force. Even if the prey escapes the initial strike, the encounter may already determine the outcome. Komodo dragon bites introduce complex bacterial contamination and venom-like proteins that disrupt blood clotting, weakening wounded animals over time. A successful hunt does not always end immediately. Many victims flee into the forest after sustaining injuries. For the predator, this is not necessarily failure. Instead, the predator relies on endurance and tracking. The scent of blood becomes an unmistakable signal, allowing the dragon to follow wounded prey through dense terrain, sometimes over the course of several hours.
This method of delayed predation conserves energy. Rather than exhausting itself in pursuit, the dragon allows biological processes to weaken the prey. Meanwhile, the forest itself contributes to the hunt. Thick vegetation restricts movement, uneven ground slows escape, and heat accelerates exhaustion. Within this ecosystem, the predator's strategy works in partnership with environmental pressure. The Komodo dragon is not the only hunter within this forest community. Smaller monitor lizards, snakes, and birds of prey occupy overlapping niches. Yet the dragon's size allows it to dominate feeding opportunities when large carcasses appear. Scavengers frequently track the movements of dragons, knowing that where one hunts, food may soon follow. Eventually, the wounded deer succumbs to blood loss and exhaustion. The dragon locates the carcass using scent alone. Feeding begins quickly. Powerful jaws tear through muscle and bone, while flexible ligaments allow the reptile to swallow large sections of flesh. In a single feeding event, a dragon may consume nearly 80% of its own body weight. Carrion rarely remains undiscovered for long. Other dragons detect the scent and approach the feeding site. Despite belonging to the same species, competition emerges quickly. Larger dragons dominate the carcass, while smaller dragons wait at the perimeter. In Komodo populations, size determines feeding priority and survival. Dominance interactions are often brief but decisive. Larger dragons use body weight and open-jawed displays to push competitors aside. Physical combat is avoided when possible, as injuries can be dangerous even for apex predators. Instead, intimidation and hierarchy regulate access to food resources. For younger Komodo dragons, survival requires different strategies. Juveniles spend much of their early life in trees. Elevated positions provide safety from larger dragons, which may prey upon smaller individuals of their own species. Tree climbing allows juveniles to access insects, birds, and small reptiles while avoiding terrestrial competition. At this stage of development, diet shifts towards smaller prey. Eggs, insects, rodents, and small birds provide essential nutrients for rapid growth. As juveniles mature and gain size, they gradually transition towards ground-based hunting. The forest canopy acts as a temporary refuge during this vulnerable period. Seasonal rainfall transforms the jungle environment. Monsoon storms saturate the soil, swelling rivers and altering animal movement patterns. Trails become slippery, and visibility decreases even further beneath the canopy. For predators and prey alike, these changes introduce new challenges. Hunting success depends on adapting to shifting environmental conditions. Water sources become gathering points for many animals during humid conditions. Deer, wild pigs, and birds converge along streams and pools scattered throughout the forest. These predictable locations also attract predators. Dragons frequently patrol such areas, recognizing that prey must eventually approach water regardless of danger. Wild pigs represent another important prey species. Their powerful bodies and sharp tusks make them formidable opponents. Yet dragons often target young or weakened individuals within these groups. Even partial success can create injuries that later lead to delayed predation, reinforcing the dragon's reliance on persistence rather than prolonged combat. As pigs pass through the forest corridor, the dragon remains concealed. Every movement must be measured. A premature strike could alert the entire group. Within seconds, the opportunity passes as the herd shifts direction. Not every ambush results in success. In predator ecology, failed attempts are common, and patience remains essential. During the hottest hours of the day, activity across the jungle declines. Many animals seek shade to regulate temperature. As reptiles, Komodo dragons depend on environmental heat to maintain metabolic function. They alternate between sunlit clearings and shaded refuge, balancing exposure with energy conservation. Basking allows the dragon's muscles to warm, improving reaction speed and digestive efficiency. After large meals, extended basking sessions accelerate metabolic processing. Energy gained from feeding must sustain the reptile through days or weeks before the next successful hunt. Territorial overlap occasionally brings adult dragons into direct contact. While these reptiles do not defend rigid territories, competition for mating opportunities and food can trigger escalation. Posture changes, raised bodies, extended necks, and open jaws serve as warnings before escalation. When conflicts escalate, males may engage in ritualized combat. Rising partially onto hind limbs, they grapple using forelimbs and body weight. The goal is not immediate injury, but dominance. The stronger individual forces its rival to the ground, establishing temporary hierarchy within the local population. Once dominance is established, the encounter ends quickly. Avoiding severe injury remains advantageous for both individuals. In a landscape where food availability fluctuates, even minor